Today, we're diving into a huge shift in how kids are growing up, and it's all driven by that little device in pretty much everyone's pocket, the smartphone. But look, this isn't just about doom and gloom. We're going to unpack a really positive, practical path forward for families who are feeling like, you know what, it's time for a change. So let's get right into it. I mean, just picture this. It probably feels pretty familiar, right? The school bus, which used to be this chaotic hub of noise and jokes and energy, is now silent. This quote just nails it. It's become this powerful symbol of a much bigger change, that childhood itself is being rewired, with kids scrolling alone instead of, just being kids together.
So yeah, that silence on the bus, it's not just a quiet ride home. It's really a symptom of something way deeper that's fundamentally changing what it means to grow up today.
And here's the biggest, craziest irony of it all. Social media was sold to us as this amazing tool for connection, right? But the data tells a totally different story. As the hours kids spend online go up, the time they spend with friends in the real world has absolutely nosedived. And this isn't just a small dip, it's a straight line to what experts are calling an epidemic of loneliness, anxiety, and depression. So why is it so incredibly hard, especially for kids and teens, to just put the phone down? Well, it's not a lack of willpower. It really isn't. It's all about brain science. Let's dig into how these apps are actually built, very, very deliberately, to hijack a brain that's still developing. Okay, so at the absolute heart of all this is a concept called dopamine deficit. See, when you're scrolling, your brain gets this artificial blast of dopamine, that pleasure chemical. But after that high, your brain doesn't just go back to normal. Oh no, it crashes below your normal baseline. And that deficit, that low point, is what makes you feel that intense craving to pick up the phone and scroll again. And this visual just lays it all out perfectly. You see that massive, unnatural spike of dopamine from the app? That's the super high peak. But then, look what happens right after. An immediate crash into that deep, deep trough. And when this happens over and over, the brain just gets desensitized. A walk in the park, a chat with a friend, it just can't compete anymore. The only thing that feels really good is getting back to that artificial peak. This quote gets right to the core of it. The whole point of the tech isn't to make you feel satisfied. It's to make you crave. That endless chase for the next like, the next follower, the next video. It's all designed to keep you on the hook, always wanting more, but never ever feeling truly fulfilled. So why are kids so uniquely vulnerable to this whole cycle? Well, a neuroscientist explained it perfectly. A kid's brain on social media is like a car with all gas and no brakes. The reward center, that's the gas pedal, is fully developed and screaming for those dopamine hits. But the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that's in charge of impulse control, the brakes, that doesn't fully mature until you're about 25 years old. Let's just be crystal clear about this. None of this is an accident. It's not a bug, it's a feature. It is a business model. There are literally thousands of the world's smartest engineers whose entire job is to make these platforms as addictive as possible. They use psychological tricks like variable rewards, which is the exact same principle that makes a slot machine so addictive, to keep our eyes glued to the screen. Our attention is the product, and it's being sold to the highest bidder. Okay, so if we know all of this, why on earth do so many parents, good parents, still say yes to giving their kid a smartphone? Well, the reasons are really complex, and honestly, they're completely understandable. We're talking about massive social pressure mixed with some very real, very legitimate concerns. This table really breaks down that dilemma. A parent's goal, of course, is safety. But a smartphone can literally invite new dangers right into a child's bedroom. The goal is a healthy social life, right? But the device often ends up creating these shallow online-only friendships. Parents think they're building tech skills, but what's really being mastered is passive scrolling, not valuable skills like coding or creating something new. All right, I know that was a lot of heavy stuff, but here's where the whole thing pivots. The really good news is that there is a clear, actionable way forward. The source material we're drawing from lays out this incredibly hopeful and practical framework that it calls the tech exit. And it's all built around this really easy-to-remember acronym F.A.S.T. So, F is for find other families, you're not in this alone, build a support system. E is for educate your kids on the why behind all this. A is for adopt alternatives, like basic phones that just call and text. S is for set up clear family rules and accountability. And finally, T is for trade all that screen time for real life activities. It's a whole roadmap. And this right here, this might be the most hopeful and powerful part of this whole story. It is never too late. The science shows that a digital detox, even for just 30 days, can actually start to chemically reset the brain. It gives that overworked dopamine system a chance to rebalance, and it lets kids rediscover how good the real world can feel. The damage isn't permanent. So, what does life actually look like on the other side of this? Well, for the families who've actually done it, who've made this tech exit, the results are honestly amazing. It's all about reclaiming what it really means to be connected. Just look at what these families are saying yes to. By saying no to the smartphone, they're discovering deeper family connections with way less of that daily friction over screen time. Their kids are building real, high-quality, face-to-face friendships. Teachers even say they can spot the kids without smartphones. They're the ones making eye contact, starting conversations. They're getting a childhood that's filled with actual play, not just posts about it. And that brings us to the final question. The whole framework is called F.A.S.T. for a reason. This isn't about deprivation, it's about abundance. It's asking us to really think, if you fast from this specific technology, what incredible real-life experiences, what relationships, what simple joys will you and your family get to feast on instead?